Ooh-wee. Yo, that was crazy. That was crazy. I said when these Olympics started, like, wouldn't it be kind of funny if we lost, right? Like, wouldn't it be dramatic? But then that first quarter happened, and I think we all thought, like, this could and might happen. I don't know about you, but I was like, nah, my patriotism came all the way out when we fell behind the 8 ball there. Where do I start? Usually, you guys know I kind of do the next day thing. I take a look at the tape. I do my patron breakdown, which I will have of this amazing game tomorrow on my Patreon. But I thought I would do kind of a reaction video because I don't want to get, over dramatic. But this is a top 10 game maybe I've ever watched. When you consider what's at stake, the context, the legends on the court. And I guess we'll start with the chef. Maybe it wasn't the ball. Maybe it wasn't the ball. Nah, what I noticed, and again, I'll go back and look at the tape. Did you notice it was spinning better for him? That was my live eye test, was like, oh, he's got better rotation, better feel on the ball. And that's what the greats do. They adjust. I still do think he didn't like the ball, or he doesn't, but he adjusts, right? He said, give me the money. And he worked it out. They kind of did a better job of getting him going early, right? And then he never looked back. But yeah, man, credit to Serbia. Let's give credit to Serbia and basketball, because I think it's good and healthy for basketball overall in the next generation coming up. It's a team sport, man, and I mean that literally and figuratively, in the sense of you're seeing, like, there's no way they should be able to beat Team USA talent for talent, right? But they're such a good team, their chemistry, their roles. I was like, man, Jokic is really gonna, like, would Jokic, where would he be put in the GOAT status if he took out Team USA? Like, that would have been nuts. That would have been nuts, man. And his presence that opens up everything, and all of them know how to play seamlessly off of him. Bogey, Bogdanovic, heck of an effort, man. Hey, Warriors, maybe call Atlanta. That's a story for another video. I have actually a video talking about Laurie and all them, and maybe I'll release it later. That's what I was working on before the game started. But again, I had to just jump on here and give y'all a quick reaction. Obviously, Steph gets going and really saves the day. But what was cool was everyone had their moments. I think the turning point was, or what made me nervous was, obviously we've seen, we know basketball is a game of runs, and it was like, all right, well, what's going on here about midway through the second quarter? It's like, all right, they look like they're in trouble. But what I didn't like was the shell-shocked look on all of their faces, and no one was really talking. Everyone was kind of just internalizing the fact that we were getting beat down, right? The turning point was when Bogey, who again played amazingly, he left it all out there, man. That's what it's all, again, watching him cry at the end of that, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. But when he hit a three, I mean, he hit a lot of them, but when he hit that one and he did the Melo and he taunted Melo, right? And LeBron didn't like that. And then they had to be separated a little bit, and they went to the bench, and I was like, oh, that might have been a mistake. That might have been a mistake. And hey, Bogdanovic, you remember when he beat Draymond for a game winner, right? Not to bring up old shit, as they say, but when he was a young player in Sacramento, I remember I didn't even know who he was. End of the game, he takes it to the cup and lays it over Draymond for game. So he's always played with that fearless mentality. I can't fault him for that. But in that instance, that felt like the turning point that woke up Team USA, because it was like, all right, who's gonna get vocal here and get pissed off? And I think they poked the bear, and LeBron, all of a sudden the intensity and the physicality picked up, and the rest of Team USA followed suit. But early on, not only was Serbia so precise with their chemistry and their handoffs, and they had been cutting backdoor, and for whatever reason, because this is the third time they've played now, if you count the showcase game, right? I think the U.S. defense was under the impression that they could go under, some of these screens, and that's what Jokic does to you, right? It's a pick your poison thing. He's such a dynamic passer, You know, they can do different things. But I think initially we kind of got caught out of pocket trying to cheat under too many screens, and then they shot 50% from three, right? But there was a lot of gambling. They were impatient defensively. Once Serbia took the lead, you know, and everyone knows you get out in transition and play at pace, no one can run with USA. And so they impatiently shot the passing lanes to try to get out in transition. You saw Ant do it several times, LeBron, a bunch of them did it. And then you had Embiid in that drop coverage. And in the second half, they adjusted. He stepped well out above the three-point line. And let's talk about Embiid, because this is a cool redemption story, if you will, a cool arc to this at least this narrative this summer, right? Where I think we've all been picking on him, where he's out of shape, he's hurting the starting unit, get him out of there, like why, you know, all this stuff. I'm completely guilty of it. But when it mattered most, we saw a different Joel Embiid. And I think that's the Embiid that the fans want to see more often. A sense of urgency, more just physical activity. And he was big time. He comes down with that little like hezzy midi coast to coast, then the turn fade. Like he took and made some big shots. Now he was making me nervous late, securing the defensive glass. But strategically, I liked that they knew to take their fouls on Jokic. They got smoked a couple times out of stoppages where they would switch and then double the switch, and then he knew right to go to the dunker spot. And then down the stretch, the final 2 minutes, right, Booker kept getting caught on him, and they were just like, hey, just take the foul. Just take the foul. So I thought strategic-wise, that was well. I expected, I'm not gonna lie, I expected Steve to start Durant in Booker's place coming out of the half. That's such a Steve Kerr Warriors thing to do. But in hindsight, you know, you can't do that to Devin Booker. I don't think you can do that to Devin Booker. Maybe if it was Tatum, but not Book, right? Nah. But yeah, man, I think it was cool for Joel to redeem himself and have a big impact, especially in the second half of that game with some big shots. And of course, Steph saving the day. What was he? 36 points, 12 of 19, 8 threes, 1 point away from setting Melo's Olympic record. And yeah, man, no, he's going to figure it out. And I know, you know, a lot of you be in the comments like, oh, I thought it was the ball. I do think it bothered him. I do think it, but watch the spin. Go back and look at these highlights that are going to be running for the next 48 hours until this gold medal game. And it seemed like he just had a better feel on the ball and the rotation. And all of a sudden he was in rhythm. And it really, what would it have looked like if Steph didn't get going? I mean, it would have been over. So he did save the day, but it was cool to see all of the, let's just call them the big three, contribute and put their stamp on the end of the game, right? Because LeBron, surprisingly enough, really it was defensively for him. Did you see him pushing Jokic out of the paint? He fought like crazy physically to not let Jokic catch it where he wanted to. Had a big drive, finishing with the left hand at the end. And then Durant, I'm sitting there watching this with my daughter, and I'm not sure she quite grasps the context of this moment, just because, you know, she's 17 years old, and it's like, this doesn't, obviously it's every 4 years, but then just even, again, the context of this team and who is on it. And to see Steph go off, right, and carry the load offensively, LeBron at this age exerting so much physical energy on both ends of the floor, and then Durant with the long midi, the signature long midi that really sealed the deal. And what I turned on to my daughter and said was like, yo, was that the biggest shot of Durant's career? Was that the biggest shot of KD's career? Now, he had the foot on the line three in Brooklyn, the hang pull-up three against the Cavs in the finals. But this has got to be up there. This has got to be up there because I'll tell you again, y'all let me know how you feel in the comments. But before it was like, hey, it'd be funny if they lost, right? We could blame Kerr. We could have talking points as a content creator for 2 weeks making fun of this team. But in the moment, when it felt like we were going to lose, nah, man, I wasn't trying to see that. I wasn't trying to see that at all. To see KD, LeBron, and Steph have this moment on the stage at this point in their careers, this was a historical, special moment. Now, that being said, you know what it's like. I mean, these are basically game sevens, right? These are Super Bowls, and that's why it's so dramatic. They got France. Go look at Team France's free throw numbers against their other opponents. We know where they're playing, right? You want to talk about a home crowd and atmosphere. It's going to be like a soccer stadium in there Saturday afternoon. And are they going to have some sort of emotional letdown? My gut tells me no. I think that they've been kind of scared straight. But that's the thing. It's not like we came out lackadaisical, right? There was some poor execution, particularly with the patience defensively. But again, we got to give Serbia credit for shooting the lights out, man. And what's crazy is, as good as they shot from three, we shot even better at the end of the day, 50% to their 38%. But I think at the end, maybe they got, it was too close. You can't say that. Let me see the rebounds, 33 to 34, Serbia's favor. 10 turnovers for USA, 7 turnovers for Serbia. They would have won this game. I don't know if the unthinkable would have happened, and as humiliating as it would have been historically and all the narrative about it, Serbia, you have to give them credit because they came out and took it to us. I don't think it was like some half-hearted effort as much as Serbia shooting the lights out and playing so well. So against France, is there some sort of emotional letdown after this game? You saw them celebrating like they just won the championship, right? But so did France. Now, if you haven't been watching France, again, the free throw total has been crazy. They're getting that home whistle. But overall, I can't complain about the referees. I really can't. They took out Germany earlier today, which I was surprised. I thought Germany was the better team. But what has happened for France in the last few games is they benched Rudy Gobert. I'm sure Draymond has told you about it, right? They benched Rudy. Wemby hasn't even really been the focal point. You've got Fournier and Cornier. Cornier looks like this jumbo-sized Mike James. You remember him from Brooklyn? And we all know Evan Fournier. They're the two dynamic guards. And then they have these two undersized bigs. I'm not going to try and say their names. It's like Scalabrini and Yasmini. I don't, but they're super physical, super active. Think Montrezl Harrell, except more skilled, more physical. And these guys are killing the offensive glass. They're getting to the line a ton, and they have a ton of confidence, and that home crowd is pushing them. Wemby's doing his thing. Wemby is obviously his rim protection, his length. He's getting a lot of poke away steals. He pokes the ball from the ball handler from like 8 feet away. I think the ball handler is not even ready to like shell up and protect. And he's like, he gets at it. So, yeah, I think that the environment in France with that crowd, their confidence, and then Team USA coming off, having to give it all in this game, we're going to have a competitive one Saturday for the gold medal. And I will be back. Tomorrow I have a breakdown of this game. And then, of course, I'll break the gold medal game down. That come out Sunday. As far as the Lauri Markkanen news and my thoughts on that stuff, again, I've already cut a video that I was getting ready to release. I didn't expect this game to be that dramatic, so I guess I'll drop that one right on the heels of this one. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.